Hello, I'm Hannah Atiasi, the host of the Homeowner Show. Our special guest tonight is Mr. Prince Arnold Mortagbe. He is the head of sales, marketing, and partnerships for Renmo. When we come back, we'll be having a deep dive about rent advance payments. We'll be right back.
Hey buddy, it's me Azar.
Yeah, me now they see. Hey, you dey look fresh. Oh.
Hey.
With your label today, me.
Wait till you see what's inside me.
Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
Across Ghana's cities and communities, one issue affects all of us: water, sanitation, and environmental health. As urban population grows faster than sanitation services, poor waste management continues to threaten public health and our goal of universal sanitation by 2030. Ghana has policies, infrastructure, and partnerships, but one thing that is missing is a strong central voice. And that voice is the Clean Report, a 1-hour weekly TV program produced by Ignite Media, bringing experts, field insights, and policy conversations together to drive behavior change.
The Clean Report, championing cleanliness, inspiring action, building a healthier Ghana. Showing every Friday from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. only on Metro TV.
Well, welcome back to the Homeowner Show. If you're looking for a property to buy or rent, Ewells Realty and Consultancy has got you covered. They have affordable housing programs. If you're interested in having an Ewells representative guide you through the process, feel free to give them a call, 050-158-0464. Or visit their website, www.ewellsconsult.com, or send an email to info@ewellsconsult.com. Make sure you join the Homeowner Show on Metro TV every Saturday at 6 p.m. as we bring you all the exciting and educative conversations from the building and construction industry in Ghana and beyond. To sponsor or partner with the Homeowner Show, please call or text 0243-272753. Make sure you also like, comment, and share the program with others at Metro TV Ghana or Homeowners TV GH. For all your questions during the show, any comments, please make sure you send it to our WhatsApp number, 0243-272753. So tonight, as I mentioned earlier, my special guest is Mr. Prince Arnold Mortagbe, and we're going to be talking about breaking the rent advance cycle and how Renmo's monthly payments are helping rent seekers. So welcome to the show, Mr. Prince.
Thank you very much for having me, Hannah. It's been a very great pleasure being here. And we at Renmo basically believe in one simple thing: getting a decent place to rent shouldn't break your bank. It shouldn't be an issue with your savings, and you don't have to borrow from friends or have to put your life on hold in order to be able to pay for rent upfront. We believe that rent should be something that should be accessible to everybody. And that is the main reason why we at Renmo exist, to make sure that rent takers have a very affordable, simple, and decent place to access. We've been following what you've been doing on this show, and it's exciting. And then we're also excited that it's a national discourse. So we are very much excited to be here to also show what we are doing to help break the rent cycle.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being here. Again, it's a pleasure to have you. So Renmo, tell us about Renmo. Where are you located? How long has Renmo been around? And how did you come up with the name Renmo?
Great. So Renmo basically started out as an experiment, basically.
Oh, wow.
Personally, I have had issues. My parents have had issues with rent. My CEO has also had his parents have issues with rent. And so we believe that this is a big national issue where not just us, quite a number of people are struggling to pay rent upfront. So we decided that, look, let's create this system that enables everybody to be able to pay rent flexibly. And so Renmo basically is a short word for rent monthly. So we coined it Renmo, basically. We've been around for the past 5 years almost, and in between that period, we've been able to assist over 8,500 customers in that short period. The whole idea is let's experiment to see if indeed rent monthly payment is possible in Ghana. And we've been able to show that, yes, it is possible with these 8,500 Ghanaian customers that we've assisted to be able to manage and pay their rent monthly. We're basically around Adenta on the Dodowa stretch, right opposite Papa's Pizza. And we're very much interested in sharing the success stories and letting Ghanaians know that there exists a system that can allow you to pay your rent monthly without having to break your bank.
Wow, this is awesome. So I want to kind of backtrack a bit. You mentioned that you've helped 8,500 people in 5 years.
Yeah.
So averagely, you're looking at helping, well, you've helped over 1,000 people a year.
Yeah.
So what is the qualification? So if somebody's watching tonight and they are about to rent a place and they have to come up with 6 months rent and, you know, they're not able to do that, what do they need to do to make sure they can rent out that home through Renmo?
Okay, so it's very simple. Currently, a worker may have to probably struggle to pay for 1 year or 2 years rent advance, right? And so we at Renmo basically make it very, very simple. We are not saying that you should have 20,000 cedis or 30,000 cedis or more in your bank account to be able to afford a decent accommodation. So long as we can verify your income and check your affordability and also establish that you can make monthly rent repayments, you are our typical customer, our typical client that we can assist. All that you need to prove is show that you have an income that comes in consistently, and then you have affordability. And it's very simple to actually get through to apply or to get assisted for financing. It's all on WhatsApp.
Oh, wow.
Everything is processed on WhatsApp for you because Ghanaians, over 10 million Ghanaians are on WhatsApp. We want to make it so easy for you to really access monthly rent payments, and it's all on your WhatsApp. You can just chat with our Renmo coach, and in less than 3 minutes, get pre-qualified for rent financing and then get pre-approved as well.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's take this step by step. You have an individual who just started a job 3 months ago. As long as they're showing that they've received an income.
Correct.
How many times? Does it have to be at least
3 months?
Okay, so 2-3 months, you're receiving an income. That already qualifies you. And then I'm sure you verify with the employer as well, or do you check bank statements?
Very great question, Hannah. And I'm really excited that you asked that because a lot of people usually want to know. We are actually getting a very high number, increasing number of Ghanaians that are interested in having a very flexible life, right? And so these are very key questions that usually come in. if we can see that you have 2-3 months of a bank statement that shows your income flow every month, you receive the income that you say that you receive. That is all that we need. We don't even need to check with your employer. We can verify from your bank statement or Momo statement that this is the income that you receive. And you also let us know if you're working in a private sector or public sector. So the WhatsApp coach that you engage with will just ask you all these questions. And when you are able to provide all this information, you quickly get pre-qualified and then get the assistance that you need. So all that we need is just 2-3 months of your bank statements.
What if you are an entrepreneur or a business person or self-employed? Do you look at cash flow? Because, I mean, the figure will vary from month to month.
Yeah.
Or is it only for salaried workers?
So if you're a business owner, we've actually not left out the business owners.
Oh, great.
Because look, you're an entrepreneur, you've left, the comfort of a steady, job to be able to build something. And so we want to support you. We really have a position for you in Renmo. All that you need to do is show that you're a registered business owner. You have a company that is, that has a bank account or a Momo account where your income flows, your cash flow, can be traced. And then we just determine that, we verify, we check your affordability, right? We want to make sure that at the end of the month, when you pay your employees or you pay your rent for your shop, your stocks and all of that, you still have enough money available to be able to take care of rent monthly obligations, right? So we look at all of that, and then if you check out and you pre-qualify, we of course go ahead and assist you. So it's not just a salaried worker, entrepreneurs or business owners also are available. And one thing, Anna, we can even finance your commercial rent space, your shop. So it's not just your domestic apartment, but we finance commercial spaces if you want a shop to rent as well. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. So you do residential,
And
commercial. What about industrial, like warehouses?
That is something that we are working towards. It's
Okay.
definitely on our products roadmap.
Oh, fantastic.
We've tried with a couple of with businesses, but definitely we're going to get there where it will be bigger. Yeah.
So in terms of how much an individual makes a month, and in terms of affordability, what's the debt to income ratio, or how do you determine? So if somebody's income is 1,000 CDs a month, what percentage of that would qualify for monthly rent, or how do you determine how much they can comfortably afford?
So our assessment basically makes sure that at the end of your rent payment, you have a sizable money left to go and take care of your household expenses, because we want to make sure that rent payment is something that you can realistically pay. So basically between 30 to 50% is the threshold. Your rent must not be more than 50% of your income. Ideally, right, a financial advisor will tell you that your rent shouldn't be more than 25% of your income, basically. But we live in a system where we are basically a little bit flexible in that threshold, and so we don't go beyond 50% of your income. So in a sense, if your salary is 5,000 CDs every month, your rent repayment to Renmo must not exceed 2,500, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that is the net
Correct.
income,
Net
right?
income.
Not the gross, because
Not the gross. Yeah, that's true.
there are all the other deductions, the SNIT and the taxes and all that as well. So at that point, then one is qualified based on your salary or whatever your cash flows are, 2 to 3 months, mustn't be more than 50%. And that's it. That's the 3 minutes pre-approval
Exactly.
on your WhatsApp.
3 minutes pre-approval. And you don't even need to text. Sometimes you can just use a voice note, provide those responses on your WhatsApp, and automatically you get a quick feedback whether you are pre-qualified or not. So you don't even need to come to our office. Everything is basically online for you to assess and also get the assistance that you need. Yeah.
Wow. This is great. So it's an automated pre-approval, it sounds like?
Yes.
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 Okay. So
Yes.
that's why it's quick and in
Yeah.
3 minutes. Fantastic. So all this sounds great. And I know the next question is, what are your fees? Because they must be some service charges. what are you charging to enable people to do their monthly repayment? So what are your fees?
So that is a very good question, and it's a question that a lot of people keep asking us, Hannah. I must tell you, we get that a lot, but we want to build a system that allows for monthly rent payments, and we want to make it to become the new normal, right? It definitely won't happen overnight. There are certain risks associated to that. However, our fees are very, very flexible. We basically charge up from 0 to even 2.5%. Basically, in certain cases, we even do 0. If you are a government worker, you basically don't charge, don't pay anything from the get-go, because of we understand that it's part of the things that we want to do to support Ghanaians that are helping or supporting us in the public sector. If you are from a private company or you are working in a private organization, basically, there is another, a lesser fee that you charge. So basically, we charge as low as 0% in terms of fees or service charges, all the way to 2.5. And it basically also depends on the risk associated to the person that is coming in. So we assess you, and then we also let you know. One thing that is key here is that we do not believe in surprises at Renmo. And so we actually show you, we are very honest with our service charges. We are very honest and very transparent. All that information that you require about fees, you get to know from the get-go before you even sign up on the Renmo Coach. So you don't get surprises when you become a customer that these are the fees and all, because you want to be a sustainable company. If we are hiding fees and charging, very high fees, it doesn't make us a sustainable entity. And the whole experiment that you're doing at Renmo is basically to ensure that monthly rent payment is possible.
Okay, so let's say, for example, the 2.5%, is that a monthly service charge? So if your rent is, let's say, 1,000 cedis a month, then you pay the 2.5% of that monthly rent. Is that how that works?
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Yeah.
So the 8,500 people that you've helped in the last 5 years, what has been your default rate?
Zero.
For those 0%.
0%.
So no one has defaulted. Everybody out of the 8,500 have been paying on time. Like, do you have a grace period? Is it 5 days, 10 days grace period, or everybody pays on the first of each month?
So let me answer the question this way. We know life happens, right? You could get a family emergency. You could probably have some unexpected pressure, right? And so at Renmo, basically what we do first is we don't harass. Our first response is not harassment. Our first response is engagement with you. We reach out, try to understand what is going on, and then if you're willing and communicating, we build a practical path of payment, for you. We've had cases where people, our customers, reach out and say, hey, I'm having a family emergency. My daughter is unwell, is in a hospital. And so we understand, right? We get to see proof, pictures and all of that, bills to indicate that that is a real scenario that is happening. And so we're able to structure the repayments comfortably for those clients, right? And so if a customer is willing, we definitely assist. The goal is to build trust in the system. Yeah. And so if you and I want monthly rent to be a normal thing, definitely it would require, tenants, employees, companies to actually have trust and also be responsible, right? Because at the end of it all, we have to protect the landlord, and then we also have to support the tenants and also make sure that the system is credible. And so we definitely build a repayment path for those that are having genuine challenges, and those that are not, we try to also engage with them to make sure that they pay at the end. So the duration might extend, but it also makes sure that we don't have any default.
Any evictions or anything like that. So, just to make sure our viewers understand, if there is a tenant that wants to rent a place from the landlord, the monthly rent is 1,000 CDs. Typically, they have to pay, let's say, 6 months in advance. So Renmo will pay the landlord the 6,000 CDs
Correct.
in advance.
Yeah.
And then the tenant would pay Renmo back 1,000 CDs plus the 2.5%
Exactly.
every month.
Every month. Exactly.
Okay, so that's how that works.
Correct.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So how sustainable would this model be if you don't charge any fees to the government workers? Are those fees being pushed to the private tenants, so to speak, or how would that be
So in talking
sustainable?
about fees,
Yeah.
we don't charge the government workers application fees, service
Okay.
charges, nothing. Basically, what we do is we add a little bit of a markup on the monthly rent payments that they do through deduction at source, right? So if you're coming in, zero fee of application, zero processing fee, nothing. All that we need to know is if you can afford to pay your rent. So we check your affordability as a government worker, and then all that you just need to provide is the details of your property owner. We pay the property owner. So right from the get-go, you don't pay anything as a government worker.
Wow. Wow.
Correct.
So, they are Rently monthly companies that are emerging. You've been around, you said 5 years. So what separates you from the other rent monthly companies that are emerging or that have been around for a while? I mean, what is it, your fees that are lower? Is it that you don't charge government workers fees? What makes you different in terms of, what's in the market? Why should someone watching tonight who's having a challenging time coming up with 6 months rent, why should they come to Renmo?
So we, as I said earlier on, Renmo started out as an experiment, and we started out first with rent payments, basically. And in that process, we realized that rent is not just the only expenses that people incur that really determines their financial position. And so when someone rents a property, they obviously need things to fill in that property, right, to make it a home, to make it very comfortable for them to live. And so aside supporting rent, we built an entire ecosystem that makes a tenant very comfortable in their home. We support with renting your apartment, and then we support also with personal item financing. So if you need any household item to stock up the new property that you've moved in, be it television, fridge, AC, furniture, whatever that you need, Renmo also does shop and pay to assist you.
Wow, this is wonderful. So wait, let's make sure our viewers actually caught that.
Yeah.
So you provide monthly, you allow them to do monthly rent payments for the property.
Correct.
And then for whatever furnishings and appliances that you need in the home as well.
Absolutely.
And how long are those payment plans? You call it shop and pay?
Yeah, shop and pay monthly. Yeah. So you shop now.
Is there
and
a
then you pay,
limit? Now I'm wondering, how much can I buy? This is a shopping spree for a lot of people. Is there a limit? Do you say, okay, based on your income, the maximum amount you can shop for is 10,000 CDs or 50? Is there a limit to this? Or
So everything is basically automated. So if you're interested in a shop and pay, you just check your affordability on our platform. Right.
Okay.
So if you already have a rent facility for us, the shop and pay facility too could let you know how much you are eligible for. As a matter of fact, the minute you sign up on our platform, you get to know how much you're eligible for rent, how much you're eligible for rent, for shop and pay, and other things as well. So we do have this partnership with Ghana's most trusted e-commerce platforms. So you can get your shopping items from Jumia, from Get for Less, from Electroland, from Electromat. Because of quality, want to make sure that you're actually getting items to finance your apartment that last longer. And so that opportunity too is there for you. and it's all basically dependent on your affordability.
Wow.
Yeah.
So even with rent, if somebody wanted to rent an apartment and it was 25,000 cedis a month, as long as their income is 50,000, so it's not a limit to how much you can rent, but more affordability. Everything is about, can you afford it? Is that right?
Yeah,
Okay.
in a large sense, we want you to have, you know, a place to stay, and a decent environment also to stay in. That gives you that kind of peace of mind as well. We don't want your repayment to be another source of pressure on you. So we are very keen in making sure that whatever facility you are getting from Renmo, whatever support you are getting, doesn't add another level of burden to you. Because at the end of it all, we are trying to break a cycle of stress, a cycle of burden, a cycle of pressure. And so how much can you afford? We look at that and then we provide that. One thing that a lot of times we gloss over is that renting an apartment, it's not just anything. You're renting a home, and a home is where you rest. It's where your children study. It's where you basically, you know, it basically helps you to show up in life. And so we want to make sure that this is not just a renting conversation. This is about a quality of life conversation that we are having. So we are providing that environment, that system that ensures your quality of life is more sustainable, it's more affordable, and it's more decent.
Fantastic. So you spoke about one of the differences is Renmo compared to the other rent agencies out there is the shop and pay factor. What else?
So we do
Tell
have
us all the points.
So we do also have a drive and pay monthly. As
Drive
well,
and pay
monthly, yeah, which is car financing for you. So
Wow.
you might have a very good place to stay close to work. You might, you know, also fill up or stock up your apartment with the best gadgets and tools that you need, you know, to really pimp it up and all of that. Probably you also need to have a vehicle to help you in terms of your movement, mobility, and all, right? So we do look at how can you access car financing with, you know, with ease. So we provide you the opportunity to access car financing, any car of your choice from the garages that we are in partnership with, and then you pay back on a monthly basis towards the car ownership.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we have shop and pay, drive and pay,
And then
and rent and pay.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Folks, I hope you got all that. Rent and pay, shop and pay, drive and pay. We'll be right back after these messages.
Hey buddy, it's me Azar.
Yeah, me now they see. Hey, you dey look fresh, oh.
Hey, hey.
With your label today, me.
Wait till you see what's inside me.
Azar, freshly made inside and out for greater coverage and colors that last longer and beautify your walls, spaces, and places. Azar, no size. Go ahead. Buy now. Azar, #1 from Azar Group since 1921.
From finding your dream home to building a legacy for your family, the Homeowner Show has been your trusted guide.
How sure are you what you're getting is the right land? And it has to do with searches, land commission, checking social planning authority, checking everything to make sure that what you are buying is not a problem or a challenge prone, transaction.
The stress of even not owning a house and constantly coughing up to rent is a big issue.
Join me, Hannah Atiasi, and my distinguished panelists as we delve into exciting conversations. Season 3 of The Homeowner Show, every Saturday at 6 p.m., only on Metro TV. Don't just own a house, build a legacy for your family. All right, welcome back to the Homeowner Show. And we have been speaking with our special guest tonight, Mr. Prince Arnold Mortagbe. He is head of sales, marketing, and partnerships for Renmo. Renmo is breaking the rent advance cycle. So before we took a break, we were talking about various things that separate them from other rent companies that are out there. And what was intriguing was outside of the tenant pay, the rent pay, you have the drive pay, you can finance a car through them, and also the shop and pay for all your appliances and furnishings that you need for your new home. This is fantastic. So now tell me, Prince, since you entered the market, what real changes, if any, have you observed in the lives of all these rent seekers using Renmo? Do you have any success stories? How are people responding to Renmo? Are they embracing it? Is there resistance? What have you noticed so far?
Yeah, so it's been a very exciting 5 years since we've been in establishment. The biggest change we've seen in the markets is relief.
Wow.
Relief. You see people that were postponing their marriage, delaying relocation, or staying very far away from work, or even changing their environment.
Or living with family, parents.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they delay all of these things because they can't raise the 1 year, 2 years rent advance that is required for them to rent. And when they get the support that they need from Renmo, and they move into a decent apartment or room, you could clearly see the emotional difference. Huge. For some Ghanaians, it's basically, moving to an improved, better place or getting closer to work, right? We've had cases where some of our customers, a customer basically got a job in Accra and she was in Wa, and she is a single mother. And the difference in terms of rent payment between, Accra and Wa is very, very huge.
Yeah.
And this software engineer role, basically, that she got, it was a difficult situation for her. And then she chanced upon Renmo, basically. We supported her to rent in Accra. She moved, and together with her son, they are basically employed and staying in Accra. We've had parents basically have two terrible choices, whether to use the limited funds that they have to pay for school fees or to rent an apartment so that they can have a roof over their head. And now they've been able to pick those two choices because of Renmo. They've been able to support the school fees and also to be able to finance their rent payments through Renmo. We've had a lot of these cases, and that is super, super exciting, which basically gives credence to the existence of Renmo. And it goes to show that monthly rent payment is very possible. And one of the things that is very key here is that this is not just a rent issue, because we are going beyond providing rent. We are actually providing stability, we are providing productivity and peace of mind. And this is really helping a lot of Ghanaians. And in between that, I think we've done our bits, and we believe that there's more room and more Ghanaians that are interested out there. Yeah.
Great. Those are incredible testimonies, and I love, or success stories. I love the fact that there's such a sense of relief now that people don't have to take a year, 2 years. So, Renmo, would you pay maximum up to 2 years? Because sometimes with commercial spaces, they want 5 years or 10 years. I know there's new rent control act, that's being enforced very soon. But were you able to pay up to a year or 2 years? Did you have a limit to the duration of how much Renmo would pay?
So for the first time, if you're a first-time applicant that you come into Renmo, we really want to start with you for 1 year.
Okay.
To build a credit score on you, to check your repayment habit, to establish that, yes, you do have the discipline to opt in for a monthly rent payment, basically. When we assess over 12 months that, yes, you've been, very consistent with your repayments, basically, that opportunity to do 16 months or 18 months is available to you. And there's one thing that I didn't say, Hannah, for most of our customers that are renewing their rent payments with us after 1 year, we actually give them half of their monthly rent payments back to them in cash. So if your rent is 1,000 cedis every month and you've been with us for 1 year and you're renewing again with Renmo, your first month's payment, we give you half of that back. So we give you cash of 500 cedis back. We pay you directly into your pocket. And that is because we are renewing, and it's part of our loyalty scheme to make sure that you are enjoying the benefits of being a monthly rent payment, Ghanaian. We want to encourage that behavior. We want to really, really change this advance cycle and break it.
Look at that, folks. I hope you caught that. There is a renewal incentive. Correct. That when you renew in your second year, right, you get half a month's rent back in cash, deposited straight into your account.
Momo or bank,
Momo or bank account. That's fantastic. I want to go to the viewers' questions and comments. So viewers, please make sure you're sending all your questions, your comments to the WhatsApp number. But I do want to ask this question, not to sound morbid or anything, but if God forbid you have paid a year up front for a tenant and then tenant passes away, let's say within 6 months, is there sort of insurance protection? Because what if they're the breadwinner, they have their spouse and children in the home, you've already paid a year, they can no longer cover the next 6 monthly payments. Is there a sort of insurance protection there?
So those are basically acts of God, a force majeure. And so we understand those issues. We've actually had some cases like that. Really? And we make it very comfortable for the dependents to stay in the apartment until the rent expires, basically, because that is a situation that wasn't their doing. It's not their fault. And so we basically engage and we approach these cases with empathy, because rent is a right, basically. And so, yes, we do have those, I'll say, flexibilities. Yeah.
And conversations. Yeah. Okay. Kelly, thanks for tuning in. She says, great show, very informative. Olivia, thanks. She says, thanks for sharing these insights. Anita says, many families struggle with the rent advance cycle, and it's great to see practical solutions being shared here. Thanks for bringing attention to this issue. Clayton, thanks for tuning in. He says, what are the most effective ways for renters to start saving for a future home purchase?
Interesting question. So I think there are a lot of I'll say financial packages or products or portfolios out there that you could plug in. You could do a long-term investment in an asset financing with one of our partners called Petra. Petra is a
Trust, yes.
It's a strong partner with us, basically. And so I would give them a shout out and tell you that you could explore that option, because they do have a mortgage financing option over there that can help you. But I think there are a lot of platforms that you could invest in for the long term. And those platforms could give you the access to take a lump sum, right, of money to build your own housing in the future after probably 5 or 10 years of funding that particular portfolio. So I think I would urge you to just do your research. There are a lot of platforms that can assist,
with that.
About that.
Okay, fantastic. Next question, Don. Oh, Don has a comment. He says, watching live and learning a lot. Thanks, Don. Kathy, thanks for tuning in. Hi, Kathy. Excellent insights coming from the guest. Joe, he says, really enjoying the insights from the speaker. Home ownership is a dream for many people, and conversations like this helps viewers understand the challenges and opportunities involved. Jack says, great live show so far. Thank you, Jack. Pete says, how can young professionals avoid getting trapped in the rent advance cycle? Young professionals, so is it the same model that you've been talking about?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. We want you not to lock up all your funds in a single rent. That becomes a rat race. So just choose the option that gives you the opportunity to, pay for your rent on a monthly basis to free up your income or your savings for the big ticket items in life, basically.
Okay, great. Dixon says, excellent show always. Thank you for tuning in always, Dixon. Banter says, can you expand more on the solutions?
Solutions.
Okay. Banter, send us another message giving us more information, more clarity for the speaker when you say, can you expand more on the solutions? Because he did give solutions. If you're a tenant, you don't have to do the rent advance payment. You could do the monthly rent payment through Renmo. You have the drive pay. You have the shop and pay. So there are quite a few solutions there, all right? And then Paula, I appreciate how this program focuses on real life challenges that affect the original people. The examples and explanations makes the topic much more easier to understand. Thank you so much. Matthew says, what are the biggest financial mistakes people make when trying to transition from renting to owning?
That's a very practical question. So I'll start this from the renting side of things. And I'm very sure that it also moves into owning a home, basically. We've noticed for the period that we've been in existence that a lot of the time people want a home that, is beyond their income, a home that they want to impress people, basically, right?
Yeah.
And what we do basically is we guide people to make the more realistic renting decisions that doesn't bring them pressure. And we've noticed that it also transcends into home ownership. You want to have a house that is way beyond your budget, basically. And so you start big and it doesn't really end well. You don't get to complete the project that you have to complete, or you basically end up having a substandard quality of the house. And so I think the real thing is be very honest with your income. If you're transitioning from being a renter to a homeowner, do a project that falls within your income, basically, and grow from there.
Great advice. All right, if you have any additional questions or comments, please text the WhatsApp line, which is 0243-272753. Again, that number is 0243-272753. All right, Josiah says, please, do you have already existing homes dedicated for this model, or can they just choose any particular property that they like?
That's a very good question, Josiah, and thanks for asking. So you can bring your own apartment, your own accommodation. We'll check with the property owner and do the financing the minute you qualify. So you don't need to wait for us to give you a property. You can bring your own house. Maybe you found your own apartments that you want to rent. It's closer to work. We can do that financing too for you. All that we need to check is your proof of your income, that you receive a consistent income, you have affordability. We check with the property owner that they've agreed to rent their property to you. And then we just go ahead and do the financing as well.
So the tenancy agreement, is it in Renmo's name or is it in the tenant's name?
So it is in Renmo's name together with the tenant.
Okay, so both parties.
Correct.
Okay, great. All right, Todd says, this is valuable information for many families. Thank you, Todd. Ameriki says, is the man an Arsenal fan? Where's their office in Kumasi? Are you an Arsenal fan?
Well, I'll say my CEO is an Arsenal fan.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I don't know the scores right now. So if Arsenal is losing, I'm sure my CEO is not having a good time right now. But we do have an office in Accra.
Okay.
We do have team members in Kumasi that can assist the person that is in Kumasi right now. So they can just jump in onto our WhatsApp, 0244 860 766. So anyone that is
Please
watching
repeat
us,
that number. Is that for Accra or Kumasi or both?
both.
Okay.
Both. So if you're watching us, you can just contact Renmo on WhatsApp right now. WhatsApp 0244 860 766. 0244 860 766. And you can get assisted. Yeah.
All right, there you have it. Please make sure you reach out to their WhatsApp number. And as you mentioned earlier, it's a 3-minute pre-approval process.
Yeah.
You can either text the information or send a lovely voice note, and they will get back to you with that pre-approval. All right, my name is Adiki, and he's in Legon. Please, do they have for students as well, or just for regular home seekers? Great question. You
Very
do this
great
for the
question.
student hostels?
Very great question. So this is something that we are working towards.
Okay.
We are building a partnership with some entities that would allow us to be able to assist people on campuses or students. But if you're a student and your parents do have a steady income flow, they could serve as your guarantor. Basically, we just want to establish that there's proof of income. And so if your parents could stand in for you, definitely we can support your financing of an apartment.
So how would they qualify for that? Because if your parents are renting a place, okay, so let's say your parents' income again 1,000 CDs a month, they're renting a place for maybe 300 CDs a month, and you said 50% is the total amount. So that means the student's housing would have to be just 200 CDs a month, or how would you work that out? Or do you kind of cancel out what the parents are renting?
Yeah, so that's a very fair question. So we look at affordability basically. So if your parent is earning 1,000 CDs and already their income is, very small in that case, and so it limits their affordability option. But we do have parents that are getting paid more than 1,000 CDs. Some are getting paid, very high. And so we've been able to actually support some students in that regard, or some individuals who use their parents as guarantors, right? And so their parents are the ones that are paying on their behalf, not the students. And that has worked out fine. So long as we can show proof of income and then affordability, or whoever is going to be a guarantor.
So you
yes,
don't
can assist
consider
you.
the parents' current rent debt or mortgage debt.
No.
You only
we
look
don't.
at, can they afford this
Correct.
based on their income?
Correct.
There you go. This sounds easy peasy,
Correct.
folks.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
wonderful. All right, Emma here. Hi, Emma. She's asking, please, if I have properties, can I come see you for business?
Absolutely, Emma. Come in, Emma. Look, we work with landlords, property owners. We do manage their properties. Some landlords are in for monthly rent payments. Absolutely. The reason why some landlords currently prefer lump sum payments is because they want certainty, security, and peace of mind, right? A landlord might have used a bank loan to build their property or savings or family resources. And so it's usually difficult for them to opt in for a monthly rent when there is less certainty. So we come and fill in the gap, the trust gap, to make sure that the landlord gets confidence of payments and the tenant gets the breathing space, basically. And so we do have a bunch of landlords all around Ghana that are, giving us their property. We are managing it for them. The landlords are just, chilling somewhere and getting their money comfortably.
There
So
you
yes,
have
Eva,
it.
Yeah.
Emma, come on
Emma.
over. Bring them your business. Okay, this is Chairman watching you live in London. My question is, are you working with the rent control system to align with the laws of Ghana? I think you mentioned that earlier,
Yeah.
but go ahead.
Yeah. So yes, we've actually been in touch with the Rent Control Authority a couple of times. We've had them on our platforms as well. We do have TikTok sessions, live sessions where we invite entities in the real estate, to talk and then share their advice and all of that. So yes, we are basically compliant. We've actually been to the Rent Control Authority, had conversations with their PRL and all. We see what they are doing. We're fun and we want to encourage them and all. So yes, we are basically also looking forward to the signing of the rent bill. Currently, that was placed on Parliament in 2023. We are really hoping that that becomes a law to amend the one that was enacted in 1963. So yes, we are.
Fantastic. So in other words, Chairman, that means that if the rent control enforces the 6 months rent advance payments, then Renmo would step in, pay 6 months, and then the tenant would be able to do the monthly payments.
Exactly.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
Oh, wonderful. So right now, in terms of applicants, are you oversubscribed? Or are you just getting applicants daily that you're trying to qualify? And you mentioned something about the credit score. How do you compute that credit score?
Okay, so if we get 1 million tenants, that is great. We definitely have room to support more Ghanaians. We've been able to do over 40 million financing since we started out.
40 million CDs?
Yeah, CDs in financing since we started out.
About 4 million.
So we are basically available to assist a lot of Ghanaians. There's no maximum threshold, basically. So if you are Ghanaian and then you are watching us, just go ahead and apply to the Renmo coach. Basically, I lost your second question. What was that?
Did I ask another question?
I'm so excited.
I think you've answered the question, but I want to quickly touch on another viewer's point here, and then I'll let you do your final words for us to wrap up. So Jason says, this episode is full of valuable information. Thank you for tuning in, Jason. And I'm trying to think, did I ask you another question, or I think those were all the questions we had. So. Fantastic. You've answered all of them so well. And I'd like you to look into your camera straight ahead. And for somebody watching today, what are your final words for tonight?
This one? Okay,
yes.
So if you're watching us today, I just want to let you know that if you've had challenges raising 1 or 2 years rent in advance, you're not alone. Sometimes it is not about your income. It could be about the structure of the rent system. And so this is the reason why Renmo was created, to come in and help eligible rent seekers like you who have the affordability to pay rent on a monthly basis. You have a steady income, you have a steady job. However, the structure is rigged against you. Renmo is here to assist you to make sure that you can rent your apartment, move into a decent home, and pay monthly. And to the landlords, we are saying that let's work together and let's build a model that protects your investments and also expands the number of serious tenants that comes your way. For employers, the productivity of your employee really matters. And so housing stress shouldn't be a part of their daily lives. You can work with us. We can partner together as an employer to make sure that you provide benefits to your employee for them to access rent and be closer to work and avoid transportation, issues or stress. For you, the rent seeker, all I want to say is Renmo exists for you. So be honest about your income. Check and...
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
At TSC. And I do remember that question is, how do you compute the credit score? But I think it's your ability to be able to pay back.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you this time next week, Saturday, right here on Metro TV. See you then.
Metro TV, insightful and inspiring moments.
The tree of life is growing where the spirit never dies.
Anyone who visits the garden gets healing. You won't leave my garden without a touch of the Holy Spirit.
Madame Alberta Ekusika Ado of the Eden Gardens draws us closer to the roots of life and nature.
Plants, no?
Yes, wakasa pa. You won't hear the plant talk to you, but you feel it in here.
And you know what to do.
You know what to do.
The PL Show is brought to you by Kale Charcoal, Kale 360, and Kale Kids Toothpaste.
Kale, happy smile.
Across Ghana's cities and communities, one issue affects all of us: water, sanitation,